everyone. Today we'll be making a very simple tomato thokku. Sadhguru tells us that tomatoes are zero pranic foods. They will not do either good to you or bad to you. So we can consume tomatoes in a lesser quantity. It's also told that people who experience arthritis, especially people who experience a lot of pain in their knee joints, it's recommended to consume a lesser number of tomatoes. Tomatoes are known to aggravate the pain in the knee joints. So such people can avoid consuming a lot of tomatoes. The thokku that we are going to be doing today, it's a very versatile dish and it's a favorite among Indians. We always make this thokku whenever we are traveling long distances by train or flight, or even to places where we will not get Indian food. If you carry this thokku and if you can make rice in the electric cooker in your hotel and you mix the rice and the thokku, the tomato rice is ready. So you can even eat this thokku with sandwiches. For spice lovers, this is such a treat because you can spread the tomato thokku on the bread and toast them, and your sandwich, spicy sandwich, will be ready. You can eat them with idlis, dosas, roti, chapati, puri, with anything. You can eat this thokku. Thokku is like a pickle, but we will not be storing the thokku for a longer time like how we will store pickles, because thokku does not have a lot of preservatives. So we can store the thokku for about a week or so, but not more than that. And we'll be using sesame oil to make this thokku. As I said earlier, we can adjust the spice levels according to your family's taste. But we Indians love it very spicy, so we're going to be making the spicy version of the thokku. We always, whenever you're making Indian recipes, please try to use the Indian red chilies. If you're going to be using the other red chilies, you might not get the real flavor of the Indian recipes. So now let's see how we will make this tomato thokku. Okay. We have taken about 10 ripe tomatoes and we'll be cutting them. We are washing them very well first and then cutting them into very big pieces. Now once we cut them, we will blend them into a fine paste in a mixie jar. So I'm adding everything together. Please ensure that you cut them before you grind them. Okay. Now it's ground to a very fine paste. Now let's heat a pan with sesame oil. We are adding about 4 tablespoons of sesame oil. Thokkus generally require a lot of oil. Now we'll be adding a teaspoon of mustard seeds and urad dal and 2 split red chilies to the hot oil. Once they crackle, let's wait for it to crackle first. Once they crackle, we will add the tomato paste. Add them very gently. It should not splash on your face because it's very hot. Now once you add them, let us add the turmeric powder. Okay. Look at the red color. It's so good. Now let's add all the spice levels all at once and cover it and cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. So we are adding turmeric powder, we are adding salt, and then we are adding the red chili powder. We'll be adding the red chili powder at a later stage. It will start splashing all over after some time. So now we are adding the red chili powder also. So it's good to cover it and keep it, but do not cover it fully. Leave a little gap when you're covering it. You can use a ladle so that there's a little gap on the side. Now let's time it and keep this for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, let's heat a pan and add a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds. Let's roast them to a golden brown and we'll be crushing them to a fine powder. So roast them till you get the aroma of the fenugreek seeds. Just a teaspoon is enough. Now let us crush them into a fine powder. Now let's crush it and add a little bit of asafoetida as well. You can choose to skip the asafoetida if you want to do it in the pranic method. But here we are adding a little bit of asafoetida as well. Now it's about 10 minutes since the thokku is getting cooked. It has to cook a little more. Can you see all the oil separating on top? We are adding a little bit of curry leaves as well for flavor and adding the ground fenugreek powder and asafoetida and giving it a mix. It's become a little thicker. Now it has to cook a little more. Let's cover it and keep it for another 15 minutes. So the total time for cooking this thokku will be about half an hour. So you can check every 10 minutes. See, now it's thickened a little more. Can you see all the oil separating? So after 5 minutes, we have turned off the stove and transferred the thokku to another container. Now it's become thick and red. It looks very good and delicious. So as I said earlier, you can adjust the spice levels according to your family's taste. You can even add garam masala to this thokku. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching this video. I hope you enjoy our videos, and we'll be posting a lot more recipes in our channel for in the coming months. Thank you once again, and namaskaram to you.